Hey everybody, and thanks for tuning in to Gender Wars on SNBTV.com. I'm Kandee, and this is my co-host Sheldon. We have a lot of discussions lined up for you tonight. We talked about negative people, how to deal with them, dealing with your children, especially on social media, and just a lot of other good conversations. So with that said, we hope you enjoy tonight's show.
Yes.
Hey everybody, and thanks so much for tuning in to Gender Wars tonight. So excited to be back with you all here on Slice Network. How are you doing today, Sheldon?
I am doing well. How are you doing,
I'm
Kandee?
doing great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really excited about the chat tonight. How have y'all been doing in the chat?
Yes, chat room. What is cracking?
Our amazing chat room. Y'all were, I just have to say it again, y'all were absolutely, positively amazing last week.
On fire.
And our callers.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We had great calls. We had the chat room was on fire.
Definitely.
I went back and read some of last week's conversations. They was just having a whole nother show.
Right.
So it was.
Well, last time during the show, I was looking at it, I was like, I know they're saying some valuable things, but I don't have time to look through all these comments.
It was deep.
Deep, right?
Yeah.
There were things you had to go back and reread and everything. We appreciate y'all valuable comments, the calls, and
sure.
Also y'all reposting and letting everybody know you were live with us, because that did help bring a lot of new people in. So
That's true.
Again, we appreciate that. With that said, let us get into tonight.
You know, you've kind of made a tradition to kind of break down the show since it's still a new show.
Yeah, sure.
You want to throw out what we do, what this show is for?
Yeah,
what
definitely.
It's about?
All right, while we're waiting for people to come in, I'm going to just break it down to the people who are tuning in right now. Gender Wars is the show where we discuss and give advice on various topics. These can be things that you all wrote in or called in, or things that you kind of just bring up, want to comment on, whatever. We just talk about it, chat about it from both of our perspectives. We're far from experts, but I think it's just nice to get things going, get to chatting about things. And I do think that, both of us, can hold our own. So
Right. And also, we also provide this kind of forum where it's like the chat room is throwing out very valuable information.
Right.
And then we have callers who I love when a call comes in and they don't necessarily want to bring up their own topic, but they want to talk about something that was previously said.
Right.
So it's just it's a giant discussion, and I love this show because of it.
Definitely. And I was actually saying to Sheldon last week, I feel like the viewers that we've had, the people in our chat room, have been intellectuals and have respectfully, been able to talk about their opinions and everything. And I appreciate that so much, because usually when you do live shows, live chats, anything on social media, people are so critical, so out of line, so bold, so beside what they would normally be in person.
Yeah.
And I feel like our little group, our community here, has been able to keep it cute, as I like to say.
Yeah.
So I appreciate y'all for that. Anyways, enough of that lovey-dovey stuff and whatnot. Let's get into the show tonight. Okay. Did you have anything you want to start off with?
Not really.
Okay. Can I start off with a rant? Because I feel like I've had something kind of building up that I really need to get off my chest.
I knew it was coming.
Okay. I'm in high spirits, as y'all can see, but there's something that I notice more when I'm in higher spirits. The amount of people who are negative towards people who are being positive and doing positive things in their lives. I know everybody has went around on everything saying, I have haters, I have this and that, whether they have valid reason to say that or not. But I do feel like so many people these days are getting in the habits of just having ill feeling towards people who are really just trying to do good for themselves and others. And I really don't appreciate it, especially because I work so hard. I try to do so much for other people. I try so hard to push out positivity. And I just feel like, why contribute to all the negativity in the world? And why, you need to find something better to do with your life if all you have to do with your time is hate on other people's success or be negative about other people or be critical or judgmental about others.
Do you feel like that bothers you when they do that? Does it end up affecting you? Does their hatred somehow put a rain on your parade?
Go
on.
Personally, I just feel like it doesn't affect me. Like, I don't get my feelings hurt by it. It's just one of those things that's kind of like, is that necessary?
Yeah.
And it provokes more of an eye roll than like a hurt feeling or something. It's just annoying to me. Like, you're being an annoyance. I just think it's so unnecessary. And especially me, I'm not the perfect person or anything, but even if I don't really like somebody, or if I don't necessarily like everything that someone is doing in their lives, I don't step out of line just to completely disrespect them, slander them, or anything like that. I'll still give them credit for the good they're doing or trying to do, or at least try to find some positive in everybody.
Well, let's ask the chat room. Chat room, how do you deal with your haters? Because I feel like if you are doing anything right, you're going to have at least one hater.
Definitely.
I love my haters, as they say in all the rap songs these days. But how do you deal with your haters, folks? How do you deal with people that are negative? And think about people that actually go to work every day and have to deal with some people that are difficult on a daily basis. How do you deal with those situations?
Right.
It definitely takes a lot to put up with some of the stuff that you have to go through.
Right. While we're waiting for feedback, I'll just kind of share my point. Like I said, it's just, I don't get hurt by it. I just see it as more of an annoyance. But I don't know. I have a really good way of kind of ignoring people and treating them as they're irrelevant, just as they are. So I kind of feel like if you don't respect me, what I'm doing, you don't have anything positive today, I treat you just like you're air. Like, I just don't see you. You're clearly there. I don't need you like air, but I mean, you do motivate me. So in a way, it does feel, make me feel a bit better about my life. But yeah.
Okay.
What do y'all have to say about that topic?
Yeah. This is probably the quietest the chat room has ever, and there's people in there.
Right.
So this is the quietest. I think they're scared. I'm about to type something here.
And I will say, y'all, we do have.
Being scared.
Stop it. I will say we do have a new system. We are now ad free, but it does cause a little bit more of a delay than we were dealing with before. So we're sorry if it takes a little bit more time to get to y'all questions and feedback, but that's kind of what we're working with right now.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. It's a great thing. We are ad free, meaning when you used to watch our shows and then we'd be at that good point, and then all of a sudden Ustream throws up this Doritos commercial,
right?
And then you come back. Yeah, you come back, and then we on a whole different topic.
Right.
We we got feedback on that. Like, I missed all of the good part.
Right. Right.
Know? So
because we love our viewers, we changed it up real quick.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the room, Mr. Glenmore. We didn't even tell y'all to say hey and write y'all names like we usually do. What are we doing?
Yeah,
we don't want you to be nameless. We don't want you to be faceless. I have to introduce the show and tell people what the show is about.
Yeah.
And I started off this show with a good rant. So can you not, please?
That's your job.
Can you take a little bit off my shoulders?
All
just
right,
a little bit.
Okay, well, watch
You starting
this.
to sound a little bit like the haters.
What?
Just saying.
Oh, man. Yeah, people in the chat room. Type in your name and say hello. Give us a little roll call or something like that. Say what's up.
Definitely.
Let us know you're alive.
Right.
And anything else?
About
on your point, yeah.
The negativity and everything?
Yeah.
No, I just threw that out there because that was just something on me, especially because I had such a positive, like I felt like I was recharged with it. Because, sometimes you get low and you need to be recharged. Mm-hmm. After that recharge, I just started looking around like, you know what? What is wrong with people?
Yeah.
We are already struggling enough, all of us in our lives. We don't need that extra. We really don't.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm done.
The phone number is on the screen, folks. You can call in.
Chime in. Do you have a hater at your job? I mean, do you have a family that's unsupportive of you? Do you have friends that claim to be friends but are constantly downing you, spreading that negativity?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why people keep those types of people around. If someone is clearly showing that if it's family, I understand that kind of sort of, just because it's like you can't, completely. You can toss them out. Not everybody's going to do that, though. I feel like I would be the type to do it which is horrible sounding. But I mean, if somebody's not for you, then you don't need that. You don't need that negativity. You don't need that lack of support. Like I just said, life is already hard enough, and you need people who are going to be on your team.
Yeah. Glenn Moore has a great comment, and the chats are starting to come in.
Right.
So we're starting to see it. We've got people saying that they're glad the ads are gone. So, and really, if I could just add one thing, because of the viewers coming back for each of these shows, right. That's what's allowing us to be able to do something like that, because it's really expensive, really, really expensive to remove those ads. So I'm glad you appreciate it. What you laugh for?
Because you sound like the person who's dishing all of it out.
Yeah, I sound like I'm the one that just paid for it today. Yeah, that's because I just paid for it today. Really expensive to get these ads removed. But you know what? Y'all keep tuning in. Y'all keep watching.
Right.
And I won't be so bitter.
Right.
Maybe. But Glenn Moore did say, well, you have to understand, people are going to hate. Not so much because you're succeeding, but because they're not.
Definitely. You know what? That brings me to another topic. And what's up to the homie Omi? Thanks for tuning in. And Glenn Moore, we already shouted you out, but you're always active in the chat, and we love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was just talking to my mom about this, how some people feel the need so much to beat others down just because they don't feel good about themselves. And I do think that is the perfect point that you just made. Some people are just going to do that because they have hate towards themselves, discomfort with themselves, dislike. They have some type of insecurity with themselves to where they're going to attack you for it.
It's always misdirected energy.
Definitely.
It's always, why can't I do that?
Right.
How does she, there's always question on how you got to where you are, what you're doing, how you got there, who you were with to get that position, all these types of things. It can never just be, oh, good for her, so, but, that's the hater in some people. And,
right.
Some people just, they can't help it.
Right.
With their old hating self.
Right. Do help yourself if you're struggling with that, because that is terrible.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So, thank you for the feedback that we are seeing in the chat. Before we switch topics, I do want to shout out our social media, which has been live. We are in the process of updating everything, giving everything a clean look for y'all. Like he said, we got more people coming in consistently. We want to make sure y'all are keeping up with all of our sites.
Yes.
And everything there on the screen right now.
That's right. We got them all on the screen right now. We've got Facebook. You can search us.
Yes, sir.
There's Twitter. There's
Facebook.
YouTube. And those are the socials.
Yes,
They're all on the screen right now. And then our website's at the bottom, SNBTV.com.
Which you clearly know about if you're watching live, because you're on it.
Up. For the haters, we got to let them know.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Keep hating.
I woke up today, had to do a little hair flip, like, oh, okay, I got things going in my life.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you if you don't.
Right.
Okay.
Any more comments, chat room?
Or like he said, call in. Our number is on the screen, even if it's just for a shout out. Don't get carried away, but we
like
love
last
to hear
week.
from you. Right. Who was the lady? I want to give a shout out to.
I believe her name was Crystal.
Thanks for calling in, Crystal. Even watching that back, I had a really, really good time watching that.
Yeah, it was
just
a good call.
Our reactions to it and everything. And really, it was a good call.
It was a very good call. Yeah.
And like I said, even though she brought that up, I will still give her credit for handling herself.
Yeah, we're talking about last week's show
right.
where we were talking about deadbeats. We had an excellent caller, Crystal, who called in and who basically said, she hates it when men will have a child, leave that family and go with a new woman and then take care of her kids.
Right.
And apparently that was the situation she was dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And it sparked a really, really good conversation. A lot of people chimed in. We actually got another caller that added to it. So it was a good call.
We didn't talk about dating last week, did we?
Well, we talked.
No, that was on LOL. Make sure y'all
Monday.
tune in today if y'all haven't seen it before. It's a great show. But they had some great conversation. That was obviously comedic because it's called Laugh Out Loud.
Right.
But they had some funny insights on dating. dating.
Yeah.
So I felt like that kind of went into that whole, we were talking about marriage and all kinds of
It
stuff.
really flowed nicely, right?
Definitely.
That's
we need
right.
to do that tag team. Glenn, hit up Tori and everybody else on the show. Let them know we need to be kind of working together with these things, because that was a nice little lineup.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we are going to have a brief commercial break before we head into our next topic.
Yes.
And we will be right back with you all. All right, everybody. We hope you enjoyed that commercial break. Hope you all are still doing fine. In our chat room, we have some comments to wrap up our last conversation. A guest saying that it's been my experience that haters are my motivators. Oh, I guess that was said by Joe Hamlet. We have Mykela Moore. Is that it?
Yeah.
Mykela. She also said haters are promoters.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, people.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have negativity, you might as well use it for something
Definitely.
good. Yeah.
And people don't usually, I mean, everybody says hater are my motivators, but people don't usually say they're promoters. So I like that. Because that's so true.
Hello.
Okay. We're going to wait a little bit for some callers. Until then, we have another topic to jump into. A little bit more on the serious side, but hey, that's what this place is all about. We kind of touch on everything.
That is true.
All right. So basically, I have noticed this ongoing trend of social media where it seems like more and more parents are using it as an outlet to punish their children. I've seen videos, where people repost World Star Hip Hop videos of a dad beating his son, of a, mom popping her daughter in the mouth for lying to her. I've seen photos of little boys look like they're 9 years old with the afro and the hair shaved down the middle, so they have two huge chunks of hairs, talking about you shouldn't have did this and that. And I was just wanting to know how you all feel about people publicly doing this to children. Because now it's like a social thing on social media, but I've met people who said their parents used to come into their classroom when they would act up and whoop them in front of class and stuff. So, I mean, a lot of people don't see that as too far. Personally, I feel like that's too far, but a lot of people don't see that too far. So is this social media thing too far? Like, what's too far with punishing your child, or do you have every right to do that because it's your child?
Yeah. I think there's really two things. There's the issue where you're publicly punishing them, and it's kind of blown up because you can't hit upload, and now your message is spread across hundreds of people or more. And then you got these viral videos that just kind of make it fun to say, you know what, next time my kid do something, I'm gonna make sure I let the world know too. It's really the same thing. Facebook's doing the same thing for parents as it's doing for everybody. I
feel like by your smile, you're going to say something completely inappropriate.
That is correct. But, everybody uses the social stuff as a tool. Some people use it as to pick up women or men, and other people use it to cheat, and other people use it to have a higher self-esteem. And unfortunately, parents have found a way to kind of show that they're super parents. Yeah. But it is a good argument if it's actually positive or not, and if it actually is going to help the situation. Right. I don't know.
I do feel like people that I have heard say that their parents like whooped them in front of class and everything. A lot of black people in particular have said, well, I didn't act up again. I didn't steal nothing again. They'll say that, and say, as adults, I can say, yeah, that was super embarrassing, but I would never dare do it again. Yeah. So I know that argument is that people do feel it's effective. And I see that to some degree. Personally, I just feel like the whole public thing, even if you're in a grocery store going off, I just feel like all of that kind of, what's going on in my house doesn't need to be out in public, so I try to keep everything on the hush. But I can see that more as a justification. But I really don't understand the thought process behind the people who are doing it on social media at all.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a classroom of people seeing this and then being humiliated, and then 500,000 people on the internet.
Right.
And I do feel like I was raised by my parents with a level of respect where even if you're being punished, it's because I felt disrespected, but I'm not going to make you feel disrespected in return. I'm just going to let you feel some type of suffering for it. But I don't think I was punished, but never that type of punishment. So I just don't get the mindset behind it at all. Because that's raising your children, I feel in like fear versus respect. And I feel like there has to be that level of respect with your kids.
We've got Joe G's who says, I feel like putting it on social media is over the line. And I do agree. I want to ask you a question. At what point does it become social bullying? Because when you look at what they call social bullying now, you posting a fight of somebody getting jumped and those things like that. Like, I know it's a parent on a child, but at what point is it not funny anymore, or is it serious? Like, is it just too gray to where it's just like it shouldn't be done? I could see parents really getting themselves in trouble over these videos
because some of them are borderline abusive, if not physically, verbally.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you're like, I guess the intention is to make them feel a huge sense of regret and everything. But whenever you're putting anybody through that severe mental and emotional process of humiliation and everything, that can be, yes, they're going to learn from it in some way. But in some cases, if it goes so far, that's going to be traumatizing. Having a video for 1 million people to see on the internet, like, what good is that going to do?
Right.
That's ridiculous to me.
And honestly, there's a lot of the older parents who Facebook is very, very new to them. They've only started using it for the last 2 years. I'm pretty sure you've been on Facebook for at least 5 years. I know 5 to 7 years for me is very, very new for some of these parents. And the internet is the internet. It's, a lot of times you can't get rid of stuff that you've posted. It's there forever.
Yeah.
And I think in general people need to understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a few comments in the chat. Mikeela Morris says, I do not see how posting a video of you punishing your child will help the reason that you are punishing that child for. I completely agree with that. I don't feel like it's going to help anything. If anything, it's probably going to make them act out worse, because that's usually the way kids do it. Either they get super scared of you or they just act out more.
Yep.
JLG's also said, like you said, there's a difference between a school finding out you got in trouble compared to the world knowing you messed up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's humiliating for an adult. So just imagine how a child feels with such like an innocent better view of the world, and not really, they're still building self-esteem and don't even know what it is yet and everything. And you're already tearing it down before they know what it is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
JLG's also chimed in and said the point can be proven with much less drastic measures. I would agree.
I would agree too.
I would agree.
Yeah.
You know what? That I did mention the whole fear versus respect when raising your children. I actually got into a long 30-minute debate with this guy I was dating a few years back because he believed children should be raised out of fear of you. And I believe that you need to maintain a level of respect for your children. And we got into this huge debate about it because we could not see eye to eye on it at all. Do you have that divide of whether you side with fear or just making them respect you, or how does that work for you, and how does that work with people in the chat?
Sure. I don't have any children, but I believe if I did, and I do mentor young men, so I feel like I can speak on this. I feel like it can be a mixture. I think if they happen to fear what I'll do if they get in trouble, or if they fear the consequences that I'm going to put on I don't think that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
When I raise my hand, do they flinch? No. They're not scared of me.
Right.
You know, they don't run away when I walk in the room. That's I don't think that's healthy.
Which I agree with that point. Them fearing what you might do, because that, even though I feel like I was raised with that respect factor, I do feel like just the fear of just disappointing them sometimes was terrifying for me.
Right.
Even though I can't even remember being whooped. It was just like, oh my goodness, I don't even want to know how they're going to react, even though I know it's not going to be that extreme. It's just that fear of, oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that.
Yeah. You can them being scared of the consequences is not a bad thing. And then also, I think it's really, really important for me, with the guys that I mentor, the young men that I mentor, I really respect them. I address them with complete respect, but I also demand it in return.
Right.
And like I said, I think you can have a bit of both and be okay. So we'll see. Chat room is
right, chiming in.
Yeah, we've got more comments. That is healthy fear, and I'm assuming that's what I was just talking about.
Right.
And that's I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And honestly, that was kind of my standpoint of it, where I agreed with them maybe fearing the possibility of what would happen. But his standpoint was, if they fear that I'm going to beat them when they come, not beat them, but whoop them or whatever, to me, that's more valuable to me. Yeah. And I'm like, if they fear the consequence, why does it have to be that fear of you as a person? Because I feel like there's a major difference between fearing that consequence and everything and fearing that you're really going to damage them in some way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do agree that leads to respect, but that was definitely my standpoint, that even if they're going to fear you, make them respect you.
Absolutely.
That's going to make them fear all of that.
I agree.
It's interchangeable completely. Thank you for that point that you added, Mikela Moore.
Yeah. Before we keep going on, I want to take a moment and talk about our schedule, the Slice Network schedule, folks.
Perfect timing for this.
Absolutely. So we've got this really, really nice schedule that's coming up, or that's actually rolling right now.
Right.
And it starts out on Sundays. Sundays is Gender Wars Day.
Of course, we're here.
That's at 7 p.m. On Mondays, we have LOL. That's at 8 p.m. And then we have on Wednesdays.
Yes, sir.
Broadcast Basics. Broadcast Basics.
Look at that nifty schedule on the screen.
There's all of the dates and all of the times. So Sunday, Monday, Wednesday is Broadcast Basics. It's a show we started a couple of months ago and got a lot of positive attention.
Definitely.
And then after that, Saturdays is where we do reruns for the entire week, and those start at noon.
Right.
So really nice schedule, and we're adding to it.
Definitely.
To it.
And I mean, playing live again, you can always look at our archives of each show, because we do have the whole series. If you just like one series, that's fine. Click on that tab at the top of the what do you call that, website, to find your specific show. But definitely on Saturday, that's when we will play the whole Slice lineup.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like I play with this microphone until it's ripped all the way off. I'm just not gonna stop messing with it. And I noticed somebody on the other show was doing it too, so don't.
And she also they also had some stuff to say about that.
I'm ripping it off for all of us, just so y'all know.
You don't want to see that conversation. It was not good.
Oh wow, really?
Oh, it was hilarious though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They went in on poor Tori.
Oh, they did?
They sure did. James and Glenn went in.
See, that's why I said we shouldn't have a show where there are two guys against one girl. Yes, Tori have a very strong personality, but they're going to gang up on her. They're going to act like they're teenage boys. That's just how it's going to be. Well, I even told you she looks like a mama sometimes, trying to reel it in while they're live.
Well, she does a great job at that.
Definitely. Yeah. Do we have any other topics that you all want to talk to us about before we wrap up this show? We also have a little bit more time for at least one more person to call in if you would like to.
Yeah, quit being scared, folks.
Are there any more changes that we need to know let the people know about before we continue with anything?
The website is still getting updated. It's still getting there's new features coming out, which is really great. We're really listening to a lot of the feedback.
Definitely.
From
Don't
our
think
chat
y'all
room.
are just coming and sharing y'all little points and views on these topics. We are constantly taking your feedback and spend long conversations talking about how we can make it better for y'all. Because we love our viewers. So definitely don't stop sharing what y'all feel. Because we do, but don't get out of line, because I feel like some people just push it way too much when you give them permission.
That is true.
Within reason. Y'all ain't behind the scenes.
Hey,
y'all
Kandee,
don't know how this operates.
You wearing too much. Can you change up your wardrobe?
Right. Unless you're going to buy it, I don't want to hear it, okay? Let's not get into that. Especially, they didn't have to drop all that money to improve our stuff.
Right. Absolutely. But no, there's a lot of things that we are working on. We've got our engineer who's working on our graphics that you're seeing on the screen. That's a nice improvement.
Shout out to TB.
Absolutely. And then most importantly, the biggest thing for this week and every week from now on is no ads. So you're not being interrupted mid conversation. You'll probably hear that for the next week or two from all of our shows.
'Cause that's huge.
There's no ads anymore. And give us feedback. How does the feed look? Because we're with a new provider now. So, I know it's a little techy, but it is a change.
It's changing your life, okay? If not your life, just the way you're viewing our show.
It's changing my bank account number.
Okay. Anyways, with that said, I don't think we have any more calls or topics to touch on. Make sure you all continue to tell your friends to check out the show, because you all have seen how amazing it is when we do have more interaction and live callers. It's just a lot of memorable moments, a lot of great feedback, a lot of fun. So we want to thank you all for tuning. Yes?
No, I'm just saying, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. This week, I feel like we're synced up, but it's like we're really going back and forth with things, and it's just not.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I apologize.
Okay. Clearly, he wants the attention from y'all. So let's just let it ride just a little bit or something.
Well, I'm just saying, you're going to end the show. It's only 40, 40 after.
Do y'all have any questions or anything for us before we go? Not too personal, but I mean, this is a chat show. Get to know your host, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like this show, I'm sorry if this is your first time tuning in, I feel like the chat is a lot more active than this usually.
Yeah. And when you compare it to last week.
Yes, that was amazing.
Yeah, last week we had quite a few callers. And actually, I looked at our phone system, and there was actually double the calls. They just didn't make it through.
Wow.
So we had quite a few callers last week. So, it's nice outside. People, trying to, this is actually the first day where it's really, really bright and not raining. Right. So people's trying to get out.
Right.
I understand. Okay. No. That's fine. We can wrap up.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Hey.
Do you want to take us out, or should I? Because earlier you kind of just interrupted me,
Well, she was just trying to just wrap it up super quick.
Because I feel like y'all are just going to be sitting here listening to dry conversation if we don't. What made us start the series?
It's a good question.
Definitely.
I know what I wanted to do, but I don't know. What did you?
I feel like I've been talking a lot. Can you go first?
Okay, well, I know we wanted to do a life type show, a reality talk show, and I knew for sure that I wanted one of the shows to be like an advice call-in show. You did something like this before on your own, and I loved it. And I figured that we could team up and really have fun with it, and really incorporate callers and incorporate people emailing in, chat room, and things like that.
Right. As he just said, I had my own show going, but hadn't done it for a while. He had seen the last of it before we wrapped up and everything. And he had been saying, you had some great chats. I mean, people were active. People were calling in. People were waiting for the next week and showing up. We need to get this back started. And I told him the only way I'm going to do it is if I have somebody doing it with me.
Yeah.
And out of the list of people that he kept, trying to bring up and everything, I said, no, that's not going to work. Had a little bit of a diva moment, but he kind of said, you know what, let's do this.
Yeah.
So that's where we were at.
And we're really we had maybe, I think we're like on show 6 right now. This is show 6.
Yeah.
I think this is only the 3rd one we've posted.
Right.
We did a couple of test shows, and so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like our show is unique to the rest of the shows on the network because we're the only one that is structured around completely the viewers and
Absolutely.
your interaction and you all calling in and chatting with us. So,
Right.
For me, coming from my background, that's always really important for me because I feel like I have like a strong connection to the people that do decide to support me and everything. So I feel like that's really valuable in anything you do. So I like that this is the program on the channel that kind of allows us to express views to each other and connect more on that level.
Absolutely.
Okay. It doesn't look like we have any more questions in the chat.
No, we can wrap up.
All right, sounds good. With that said, we want to thank you all so much for coming. We promise a more active show. That really helps if you all help push this out and encourage people to call in, though. Even if they can't, show up, y'all can still tell people, hey, I know you're on your lunch break right now, but this is a live advice show if you want to call in. Just give them the number, Let them know to call in. Joseph Hamlet asked if we plan on having special guests. I feel like every caller is a special guest.
That's right.
So I don't know if that's something we're gonna do in house, just because.
Yeah, if you want to be a guest, call in.
Right.
Numbers on the screen.
And like I said, you all are seeing a dry week where nobody's calling in. Last week, if we had a third person here, it would have been just too many people. Yeah. Like too many people invited to the party, really.
I would have got up and left.
Okay, one last question before we wrap up.
Sure.
What can we expect from Gender Wars in the future?
For me personally, I want our shows to grow, especially when we're talking about last week. I could definitely see us maybe in a month or two where the whole show there's callers back to back.
Right.
I feel like
every
that's
week.
really the point of this show and the format of this show. It would be callers back to back where we're literally hanging up and someone else is coming on the line. Because
this show is far from being about us and just our views. It's supposed to be about you all. So. Yeah. And male and females called in last week, which is the idea for all of us to kind of share from our perspectives as well as us. So, yeah, that's definitely the direction we're going. Like I said, that helps if you all are helping with that because we're only 2 people and we can only do so much to pull people in here. So just word of mouth, you all promoting our shows. I mean, when we're live, you all letting us know that helps out greatly. So every week can be fun, exciting, and interactive like it was last week.
Right.
All right. So with that said, you can find me at Kandee Loves Ya on everything: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's KANDEE Loves YA.
Yes, and I'm on Instagram S_Neal NEAL.
Okay. We already posted our social links. If you need another look at them, we'll give you one more look before we wrap up the show.
Yeah. That is Twitter, YouTube, search Slice Network on Facebook, and then we've got SNBTV.com where you can find all of our shows that we host throughout the week.